This is the rear seat off of a VTX 1800 Retro. This is a 2002 model, and this is the seat upside down, and we're going to go through the process of installing the Utopia Backrest. First thing we want to do is remove this mounting bracket. The best way to get these staples out is just take a long shaft flathead screwdriver and just gently reach in and wedge out the staples one at a time. And voila! Okay, I've managed to separate the foam from the seat base. It took a bit of just peeling around the edge a little bit at the time. Every now and then I would push the screwdriver in and just kind of scrape a little bit to scrape an obvious loose spot off, but finally it detached. Now, this is the bracket that came with the VTX 1800 Retro kit. So I'm going to attach this bracket onto the seat as it is described in the instructions. This is the way the bracket came. It came with the bolts and the washers already basically threaded into the bracket. This one has a few washers. It says it's to use 2 washers on the back. So just pull the bolts out. There's no need for nuts because this is a threaded bracket, and this is supposed to be placed right on the back of the seat and carefully centered. I'm going to drill these out with a 1/4 inch. See if those are going to be adequate to accommodate the bolt. See what happens there. Yep. I think that's going to work. I would rather have a tight fit than a kind of a loose fit. So now I'm going to mount the bracket onto the seat, line up the holes, and put the bolts in from underneath. Instructions call to put 2 washers underneath here, so that 2 washers will be between the seat and the bracket, I guess because of the spacing here. So I'm gonna work on that here and see how that's gonna work out. Okay, I've got the bracket attached to the seat, and basically the way I did it is according to the instructions. The bolt goes through a lock washer and then the washer itself. Same here, it goes through a lock washer and then a flat washer. And then in between the bracket and the seat there are 2 flat washers here. There are no washers between the bracket and the seat at this location. So it's on there tight and firm, and now the next step according to the instructions is to cut a slit straight down through the foam so that this part of the bracket will protrude through. So it says to line up the foam next to the seat and estimate where it's supposed to go through and then cut, but I'm going to put the foam actually on the seat approximately where I think it's going to be, and I'm going to reach up underneath with a pin and basically just kind of give myself a little bit of a mark on each end of where this bracket's going to go, so I'll kind of know where to make the cut. I'm going to probably make my cut from underneath, and so I'll have a good idea of where I'm going with this thing. So I've got that mark here, and I want to make a cut right through here on the seat with a serrated knife. So I'm going to start here. It says to make it about 1.5 inches wide. And this is, like I said, this is my first time too, so I'm hoping that this is going to be approximately correct. I couldn't really find anything else online to show how this is supposed to work, so I figured I'd do it myself. Now, it's not exactly perfectly straight, but I think it may do. Yeah. Alright. That actually looks pretty close. The next step is to pull stretch the cover back over the seat and re-staple it onto the seat. Now I'm going to use a pneumatic stapler because I already read that it's almost impossible to do with a regular hand stapler. This is how the top of the seat looks before stapling it, and you can see where the bracket is making an impression from the underneath side of the seat here. So I'm going to start on the rear and just start putting in a few staples and just work my way around the perimeter. Boy, it makes quick work when you have a tool like this to put the seat back on. So I think everything looks good here. An extra there, extra one there. My motto is you never can have too many staples. There we go. Not going to be seen anyway, right? Alright, there's the seat. The instructions call to cut a slit to allow this to protrude through before we put a little cover on it. So this is the part that makes me nervous, and it probably makes all y'all nervous too, but I'm going to go ahead and attempt to do this and be as careful as I can. And it says only make it big enough as necessary to allow it to come through. So I hate cutting holes and things like this, but it's got to be done, right? Okay. Sticky stuff off of this little cover that they supplied in the kit, and we're going to try to get this on there without making a mess. I'm already screwing it up here. So takes a little bit of force to get it on there, but I think it's on. The bolt goes through the seat bracket, and then it bolts on like so. So put the bracket on and line it up. I see it, there it is. And then put the bolt to the nut on, and I will of course tighten that up a little bit with a wrench, but it's got obviously a little adjustment screw in the back to be able to set the seat where you want it. Now I haven't attached it to the bike yet. I'm going to do this shortly. But that appears to be it. That's all there is to the installation process. Okay, the brackets are back on the bottom of the seat again, ready for installation on the bike. I've got the backrest put on to where it seems to be about where it needs to go and at about the right tension, because it still needs to be able to swivel a little bit up and down. And so it seems to be situated. Okay, here's the VTX, my VTX, 1800 Retro, 2002 model. And this is what the backrest looks like on the back of the bike. It works perfectly. I actually moved it a little forward, as you can tell, because my arms aren't that long, and I wanted it to be a little further up for back support. As you can see, that's what the bracket looks like, and the back is pretty much up perpendicular from the rear seat. But this nut can be adjusted here on the bottom to afford whatever angle or you would like as far as how far back the seat is from backward to forward. So it can be adjusted to fit pretty much anyone. So anyway, here's a little pouch in the back. Looks like a pretty sweet little deal to be able to put some stuff in. And looking forward to riding it. And thanks for watching the amateur hour of the Utopia Backrest installation.